Tonight's top story. A forest fire covering thousands of hectares is burning out of control. A fire, started by a lightning strike from a severe thunderstorm, is slowly moving towards the town of Victorville. Residents are on alert and ready to evacuate if the fire cannot be stopped.
Hi, I'm sorry to call you at home, but you know your boss. All work, no play. Did you catch the news brief tonight? That forest fire also knocked out the power to one of our company's telecommunications towers. We can't get at it by road because of the fire, and the terrain is too rough to get a helicopter or powerboat to it. There is a backup generator which will keep the tower going for the next 40 hours, but when the gasoline runs out, all telecommunications go down in the area. That means no telephone or emergency communications. Firefighters and police will not be able to coordinate emergency services. We might as well kiss that town of Victorville goodbye. Which brings me to why I'm calling. We're putting together a number of teams of company people to take supplies up to the tower and get it operating again. I want you to be on one of these teams. Your task as a logistician is to make sure that the materials carried by your team get to the tower in time. Your team must rendezvous at the tower with the other teams by 2 p.m. the day after tomorrow. Because of the terrain, you'll be traveling by canoe. You need to be at the Chadwin Depot by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, where you will meet up with your guide and 4 other company people. As your mentor, I'll be with you on the trip as a little voice in your head. I've also arranged for a few interesting items to be put into your knapsack. More about this later. I've attached an excerpt from a television documentary on the values of teams. You'll pick up a few pointers before your trip. I've got to go and call the others. Good luck.
At TNT, a lot of what we do is implement new contracts and new processes for our customer. So you end up putting a lot of teams together to do that. And sometimes you're able to draw the skills out from an existing work group, and sometimes you have to hire new people.
At Nortel Networks, we get involved with a lot of in-country logistics assessments whenever we're going into a new market or we have a new customer, new project in a particular market where we haven't been particularly doing business before. We'll put together a team to go in country to take a look at the certain in-country variables that are associated with logistics. We'll get involved with taking a look at the local infrastructure in country, the road conditions, the airport conditions, what type of facilities are available in the country.
We had a group of 4 people working together, and one person just didn't have the skill set that was required to do the job. But the personality fit of the group was so phenomenal that the rest of the group did their very best to coach the individual and mentor them and teach them and all of those things, trying to get him up to the same level that they were at. And in the meantime, what ended up happening was the process kind of fell apart because they were so focused on the one person in their group trying to be a good team that the day-to-day things were getting left behind.
I just want to emphasize particularly the process behind the team and selecting a team that is going to ensure success and effective communication when the project initiates within the country. So before we go in country, what we do is there's a certain team selection criteria that we go through. It's very important that the individuals, because we do get involved in international projects, that the individuals have cultural sensitivity and diversity. Because we're dealing with various cultures, so in order to make sure that we communicate effectively with people in country, we need to be very cognizant of that.
In the long run, what ended up happening was the individual who didn't have the skill set finally stepped up and said, you know what, this isn't fair to the rest of my team, and I'm letting you guys down, so maybe I shouldn't be part of this team. So that was very interesting to watch them work through all of that together, and the individual is still with us. But just working in a different area now. And there's absolutely no animosity and may join the team again somewhere down the road. It's a happy story, I think.
Face-to-face communication amongst the team or having a face-to-face review meeting before the project starts is very important. You have to make certain that everyone has a certain role within the project to achieve the appropriate goal and objective of the project. everyone has to feel that they are contributing some type of value to the project, and to make sure that someone else isn't maybe pulling the weight, because that could disrupt the functionality of the whole team. You do have a debrief session at the end of the night, and to refine the code of conduct and to address any issues that you may have and communicate those issues. Make sure that you communicate openly how everyone felt during the course of the meetings, so that they can be addressed a day later and improved.
In IBM, teamwork is absolutely critical. At a corporation level, there are 3 key areas that we're focused on, every IBM employee. The first one is winning within the marketplace, how we as employees execute our responsibilities, and the third one is teamwork. And so every IBM employee worldwide has those 3 key mandates, the final one being teamwork. Within Solution Delivery Services, we also have a very strong focus on teamwork. We have 4 key focus items that have been part of our mandate for several years. The first one is obviously from a business perspective. We want to focus on the numbers. We want to make sure that we are in fact the best service provider, that our people take ownership for their responsibilities. And the fourth one is results through teamwork. That results through teamwork is the key item that allows us to do the first 3.
This facility is a 7/24 operation with approximately 150 employees, managed by 3 managers working 2 different shifts. One of our biggest challenges is the communication amongst the teams and amongst the managers.
No 2 customer projects are alike. In fact, some we're faced with far more challenges than others. And it's often strong and resilient teams that will turn these challenges into successes.
About 18 months ago, we were approached by a brand new customer to the Solution Center with a new business opportunity, which could mean a lot of future projects and a lot of future business for us. So obviously this was very important to our organization.
We pulled a team together within IBM from across different departments. Each one of the members were chosen for their expertise level of their particular process, which was essential in order for us to put in the best possible solution. We went over with each of the team members what it was the customer was looking for us, so everyone had a common goal. We knew what our vision was.
And one of the things we discovered very early was that there was one major part of our team that we had not included. And this area was the area that handled inbound and outbound shipments of product. We had increased their workload. We had not involved them from the beginning in the process. We didn't have their buy-in. We hadn't communicated our needs properly to them. And needless to say, they were very frustrated.
If you don't have a team that's working together, the synergies aren't there, then you're not going to be working together to deliver to that customer. And eventually, remember, we're handling the product before it gets to the customer. And if we fall apart, then the customer directly sees that. If we send a box out the door with a hole in it, the customer sees that.
So we had to start from the beginning. And we sat down with everybody this time, and we looked at our processes, and we came up with some new ideas. And we put those into place using, again, the whole team. So even though we had been part of this team-based culture over this past 5-6 years, we did some things wrong. What we have today is a very well-oiled team. We are able to meet all of our service levels. Almost 98% of the time we meet those service levels. We meet all of our organization's own measurements, and we have a very satisfied customer.
On this canoe trip, you'll be confronted by a series of issues relevant to the development of team dynamics and communication. We begin with the actual team building experience. As you make decisions regarding the dynamic in play, you'll be provided with just-in-time expert knowledge from me, your coach. In addition, you'll be asked to reflect on your experience and complete some diagnostic tools found in your knapsack. I think that you will find these tools helpful in identifying your own strengths and weaknesses. At the end of the canoe trip, you will be asked to do further work as part of this module using all of your insights and reflections. This will help us transfer and reinforce the learning both within you individually, but collectively within the logistics professional network. So in sum, you will begin with experiential learning, receive feedback on your decisions, reflect and complete individual diagnostic materials, then discuss them with the online facilitator and group at the end of the trip. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
The best time to learn anything is when whatever is to be learned is immediately useful. Postman and Weingarter.